Hey guys, Luke here, and welcome back to Season 3, Episode 8 of my Rugby League Live 3 West Tigers career mode. And this episode we're taking on the Penrith Panthers first up, followed by the Parramatta Eels now. The Eels sort of dropped off, so I can't say these two sides are evenly matched, I suppose. When I say both sides, I mean Panthers and the Eels. But Panthers, they were in 6th spot coming into this game, and I'm very well aware that they're a tough side. The Pink Panthers is who we're taking on this game, and it's pouring down rain, so not the ideal conditions to play, but I think what's going for us is Panthers, while have been good in the past, I think this might be a year where they might fall down the ladder just based off their halves. Really, they got Daniel Foster and they got someone else who I don't even know who they actually are, but I mean the rest of the sides are quite good. We're very well aware that Matt Moylan is really good in this game. Obviously Jamal Idris is a beast, one of the best centers, so we will have our work cut out, especially in the conditions. I mean, offloads, probably something that we probably shouldn't do. And obviously, I'm not listening to my own advice, because we end up getting the ball from an offload or whatever it was, and then we offload it straight back to Panthers. So that was a bit disappointing, but we do make up for it quite well. We defended pretty strongly, and we end up winning a penalty. James Tedesco was the one who won the penalty, and then we followed up by hitting the edges. And David Lofaluma and Chris Lawrence had temporarily swapped around there. They just got in the line and didn't have time to swap back around. Nofaluma did perfect work there. Maybe he could be a centre in the future. Who knows? What do you reckon, guys? Leave in the comments. Nofaluma for centres. Anyways, Curtis Sirenen, here's 1 from 1. Obviously, kicking it from in front. He really needs to get his shit together in terms of goal kicking, because it's been pretty atrocious lately. But I think this might be the episode where he turns it up a notch. But it was, I think it was Alex Glenn who got driven back just before. But thankfully, it doesn't really hurt us too much. And Aaron Woods dived on a ball that Panthers threw to the ground. They're not playing very smart, as are we, as Chris Lawrence ends up dropping a ball from David Clemmer. That was a great little run there from Clemmer, and I just couldn't resist not throwing the offload, really. I mean, when you got an arm free like that with just the try line in sight, there's nobody in front of you, you had to go for it. And another big play there was Lewis Brown getting Simbin. Now, he is a centre on this game, and he is one hell of a centre on this game as well, so was pretty relieved to see him heading off the field for 10 minutes or so. I wasn't relieved to see this guy. I don't know who it was, but he ends up picking up a ball, maybe a hint of a knock on before, but it wasn't called, and they called it play on. And thankfully Tedesco, I think, was the one who rounded him up, and then it was Luke Brooks who headed crossfield there. I didn't quite have the legs to go the distance, but he did get rounded up, but did give an opportunity for David Nofaluma, who once again found himself in the centre position. And I promise, I haven't got him in the centres. He's just finding himself in that position. So good work to David Nofaluma, and did brilliant work there through the dummy, went through, and he obviously scored the try. And Curtis Sirenen kicks the goal once again. And then right here, not Granville, but I actually don't know who it was. Probably Elijah Taylor up against his old side, ends up dropping it. It was a pretty poor offload, we'll put it that way. It was very, very poor leading up to it, but probably should have just dived on it. Instead, we tried to pick it up, much like Curtis Sirenen just did right there. That was great work from Sirenen, a good little pick up, a poor play from Panthers, but yeah, it was quite disappointing to let Panthers score. I didn't really feel they were in the game up until that point, so I was a little bit annoyed, but at the same time, I think there was going to be a try for Panthers. Let's get it over and done with. Now, it looks like the conditions have sort of eased up a little bit, so hopefully the ball security becomes a little bit better, you would like to think. And that did round us out to halftime as well. So it's 18-6, I believe. And yes, it is. It's 18-6 at halftime. Nofaluma with the 2 tries. They're quite similar tries on both of his. And then Sirenen with picking up the loose ball and crossing the line. And for them, I didn't even catch who it was yet again. Now, Chris Lawrence finds himself over the sideline there. That was pretty terrible work there from Lawrence. We had a great start, and we couldn't capitalise on it immediately. And then Sam Thaiday, you can see the rain's actually back for the second half, which is a little bit disappointing. Sam Thaiday couldn't score the first time, but he goes over this time. Now, the first one, he ended up just getting run down. He just didn't have enough speed to do it. The second time, just put into a great little gap there by Luke Brooks. Bit of a risky pass, could have been intercepted possibly, but it wasn't. And then Curtis Sirenen kicked the goal. It was from a little bit wide out, so pretty nice kick there from young Curtis. But pretty good work there. We've got a 24-6 lead. It's pretty comfortable at this stage. I can't see us losing from here, especially with only 12 minutes to go at this point. Had they scored right there with Jamal Idris, maybe things would have been interesting. But Idris ends up getting the ball to Moylan, and I believe Moylan was the one who just got tackled just there. And it just showed the desperation. I would have to say, if I sometimes make the comparisons to soccer in terms of formations and just tactics and that sort of stuff. And I got to say, if our tactic to resemble any sort of thing from soccer, it would be we go for the high pressing high pressing, just high energy, and it's working really well. You saw just then, although Elisha Taylor didn't go the distance, but he ended up with the ball from a great tackle around the legs. I don't know who it was, but just more pressure on the ball carriers, and they're forcing errors from teams that don't usually make errors. I mean, Panthers were 6 coming into this game, so they're no slouches. And I should mention David Nofoaluma got man of the match in that game as we won 24-6. Pretty comfortable win, and we're still on top with the 2-point gap over the Broncos, I think. I'm pretty sure there's only the Broncos who were 2 points behind us, so I think Dragons or whoever it was slipped up a little bit. I could be wrong with that, but just from memory, I think that's what it was. Now, moving on to the second game, it is a home game taking on the Eels. I can't remember if we've played the Eels. I don't think we've played the Eels this year, but I actually was expecting a pretty tough game. Looking at their side, it's not too shabby. It's pretty okay. In their bench, pretty strong. Fayoso, Mena, and Watmow. Pretty good, although I can't see them competing with us big time. But I mean, it should be a nice little game here. Now, that was the first run. They did palm off the first person. It just seems to be a common thing where they palm off the first player from the kickoff. But we are going to find ourselves with a lot of space down this right hand edge. Chris Lawrence, David Nofoaluma, they've got a great combination, as well as Alex Glenn, who chimes in there, and Tedesco's another one who finds himself in that position. But we open up the scoring. Nofoaluma and Curtis Irinan kicks the first goal, so he's still yet to miss a kick this episode. So pretty good stuff there from Curtis. Now, what a run this is by David Clemmer, making heaps of meters right here. He palms off a few, and now the fullback will give away a penalty there. I think it is Reece Robinson this time, and he gave away the penalty, and we're looking to capitalise on that. Unfortunately, we can't do that. I'm not sure who it is on that wing. I don't know if it's Red Raja, but he just throws Nofoaluma straight over the sideline. It was pretty poor work there from Chris Lawrence. I know we got a good combination now. That's not Red Raja who did that last tackle, because that's Red Raja on the ball right there, and he found himself caught in the in goal. Now, that was a pretty average sort of hit up, but that just sets us up for the next run, and we are going to see a penalty given, I believe, which sees Chris Sando. He's sent to the sin bin. So they just held us down too many times. If you aren't aware on how the sin bin sort of works in terms of that, as we cross with Luke Brooks there, just powers his way over. Little Luke Brooks, all of a sudden, he's an absolute machine in this game, can just power through everything. But in terms of how they get sin bin, if you're not aware, it's three of the same sort of penalties in a half, and then once you get to the second half, it resets, and it's the same sort of thing from there. Another 3 and sin bin, and if the person gets sin bin, it gets reset back to 0. So Parramatta giving away lots of penalties for holding us down, and at 12-0, we're looking for another try, taking advantage of that, the man down, and we do that with James Tedesco. We nearly screwed it up. I'll be honest with you, I thought we did screw it up. I was waiting for the opponent to drop off and Tedesco to just burst straight around him. Unfortunately, they actually got hold of us, but thankfully Tedesco had enough power to just get his way over, and he has done it a few times, similar sort of tries there where he's powered his way over. And I should mention, Irinan missed his first goal of the episode. Quite disappointing. It wasn't, actually probably was one of his toughest ones. It was from pretty far out wide, but another great start to the second half, and I've got to say, we're on a really big hot streak now. I know we didn't lose too many games last season, but it looks like we're ready to just destroy last season. We're ready to go on with it now. Cameron King was the one who found himself with a lot of space there. Unfortunately, Raja ran him down. He had about a 20-metre start. Now, I don't know how that would fare in real life. I'm sure Cameron King could get to the line. And then Simona went very, very close. But Luke Brooks just going to draw on past. He just draws Red Raja in. Kevin Naguama goes over untouched in the corner. Kevin Naguama scores a lot of tough tries, a lot of good tries. That probably wasn't one of them. He just had to put the ball down. Now, Curtis Irinan, he curled that one around. He whipped it around, and it did hit the post. But at the end of the day, it goes over. So no harm done, and we're up another 2 points there with Curtis Irinan's goal. Red Raja had a break down the edge there, and their pass to Red Raja tactic hadn't worked that well, but it does work pretty well here. We kind of passed it to him, actually. It got knocked down. But Raja picks it up, and he races away, and he'll score the first try for the Parramatta Eels. They get a consolation try, and they end up getting a consolation goal as well, I suppose, as Chris Sando comes back from his sin bin, and he ends up kicking the goal. Now right here, I think it's David Clemmer who wins another penalty there. You can see they got a final sin bin warning, and with that, we decided to take the 2. I didn't want to waste any more time. I just wanted to, get a few more points, and we could have went for a try, obviously, but just wanted to take the 2 points, take the easy 2, and I sort of just cruise to the line, really. Now, there is the second sin bin of the game. Now, there might have even been a third, who knows. I don't show all the sin bins. Sometimes I just miss it. It's just how it is. But it was Tim Mena who came off the bench. He's their captain off the bench. Well, I'd assume he's still their captain on here. And yeah, he got sin bin. Unfortunately, we couldn't take advantage of it fully, apart from that little Simona run. But not to worry. We're up. We had an 18-point lead at the time, so it doesn't matter. Anyways, 24-6 is how it finished. Luke Brooks with man of the match. He scored a try, set up a few tries, so that is well deserved there. And here are the other results of round 8. You can see actually it was the Broncos who dropped points. Dragons are on 14 points. We've got the Broncos and Storm rounding up the top form. We're right up the top by ourselves there on 16 points. So yeah, we're going pretty strong to start off the season. Anyways, that's where this video is going to end. Hopefully, if you did enjoy it, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitter at Mr. Luke Marty, Facebook page in the description below, and to leave the video, here is the City Country results and the Anzac Test results. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. See you next time. Bye.